everybody, and welcome to this new episode of the MACE podcast. I'm your host, Marco Macente, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you. I'm so happy to welcome a new guest, Abigail Barnes from United Kingdom. Abigail is the founder and CEO of Success by Design Training. She's an entrepreneur, she's an author and speaker and coach, and she works with senior leaders and professionals to inspire them to use their time better. She has a very transversal background as she has a degree in business and marketing management and a different certificate in neuroscience professional development, things that future proof her ability to be a coach when it comes to time management. She has over 10 years of experience in financial service marketing, so she knows the business inside out. I had the possibility to meet Abigail in person at Executive Live last year in London, and she was one of the panelists speaking about time management at that conference. I was truly inspired by her words, and I wanted to invite her to share with all of you the tips and tricks when it comes to time management. Please enjoy our conversation. Hello, Abigail. Hi, welcome to the Maze podcast. How are you?
I am so well, and I'm so excited to be on your podcast and for this conversation today.
Thanks a lot, Abigail. I'm so excited as well to have you in the Mace podcast. We were able to meet at Executive Live last year in London. It was an incredible event. It was actually one of the first events that I attended in first person after the pandemic. So I'm sure that also you recall all the memories that we have in our heads because it was absolutely an incredible event and we were able to get together with a lot of amazing professionals all around the world. And yeah, so since that time, you were one of the panelists, right, speaking that event, and you had the possibility to share a lot of insights about time management. And of course, more than ever, this is an actual topic, and I wanted to bring you to the Mace podcast in order to share with the audience your insights, your advice, your suggestions, in order to let the audience treasure these insights, because of course I found them very useful. So Abigail, I shared already with the audience a little bit of your background, a little bit of your experience, but I wanted to ask you directly, why time management?
Marco, I am so excited that we met at that live in-person event, just to go into that for a second again, because yeah, it was the first time I had been on a stage with real people in a very long time. So having done so many Zooms, it was amazing to meet you, to be in the energy. And that is just to go to show the
Yeah.
energy of people when we get together is so much more. To answer your question about why time and time management, I worked in finance for 10 years. My background is marketing, a marketing degree, marketing postgrad. So time was always something that we were taught, and it was something that I did in my corporate career. It was something that we did on projects. We had to manage time, we had to manage budgets, we had to deliver projects and everything, which I'm sure your audience is very familiar with, having to have done that too. So I had a perspective of time, of the 24 hours of everything that we had to get done, the commutes, the sleeping when you could, the achieving impossible things with impossible short deadlines. And then I get sent on a work business trip in 2012 where I was so excited to go to America, to Boston, to meet my work colleagues. But 24 hours after I arrived there, I found myself in hospital, being woken up by a doctor and being told that at the age of 32, I'd actually survived a stroke. Now, the statistics of people who have strokes and then don't survive are very high. The statistics of people who have strokes at a young age are very low. Not many people at that age have a stroke. It's sort of almost associated with older people, and then you die. So the fact that I am still here today is why I talk about time, and is why I will passionately share my new perspective of time that has come from a near-death experience, to seeing time as our most valuable commodity. So prior to 2012, to my stroke, for me, time was about delivering to deadlines, getting everything done, and fitting in as much as you could. And now for me, time is a privilege. Time is a resource. Time is something that we allocate to achieve the life and the lifestyle that we want.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for this amazing sum up. And so we can say that your experience and what you lived brought you to talk about time, because you lived in first person how time is precious throughout your pathway, let's say. So it's incredible how you could capitalize what you lived in order to share let's say, your legacy. It could be your legacy for the people that will be listening to you speaking about time. So I find this amazing. So thanks a lot, Abigail, for sharing that. So when we got together at the Executive Live in London, I was inspired by one of your concepts, that is the so-called 888 formula. What is it all about?
So the 888 formula is something we use to help people identify where they are out of balance in their life. It is the simplest way for them to divide their 24-hour day based on science and society. The science says we need to be sleeping 7 to 9 hours, so let's call that 8. And then society says that we need to be working 8 hours. So then what is left, Marco, is their life. It's everything. It's everything from buying the food, cooking the food, eating the food, cleaning up, buying the clothes, wearing the clothes, washing the clothes, doing it again. It's the hobbies. It's the time with friends, with family. It's starting a relationship, building a relationship, ending a relationship. It's having a family, raising a family, spending time with your family. It's also where your commute would go in. So if you're somebody who is going to the office, maybe you are back to the office full time, or maybe you commute to the office periodically. So this is where that would come out of. So these 3 pillars help my clients, my audiences, to instantly work out what their numbers are. So 888 is a starting point. It's not an aspiration. It's not a goal, because the average person sleeps 7.5 hours. And then sometimes we might need to work more, because it might be quarter end, it might be year end, it might be a new job, it might be a busy project. And then sometimes in our lives, if we've got a young family or different things, then our numbers are going to be different. So every person I ever work with, they are identifying what their numbers are right now. So this is something your audience can do. What are your numbers right now? And then ask yourself, what would you like them to be? So would you like more sleep? Would you like more time for your life? Do you not have enough time to work out right now? Are you maybe spending 14 hours a day at work and you don't want to be? So it is like an instant access point. And I have to add, for clarity, we're not saying that this is what you have to have 888. Choose what works for you, but use the formula to help you to instantly see what it is that's out of balance.
Thanks a lot, Abigail. And it is amazing to see that it's something that is customized, right? It's very personalized. So it's not something that can be standardized. It is not one size fits all, but it's something that each person needs to, let's say, dress in order to find the right clothes, right? We can use this expression, this wording, because it's something that I feel that is very personalized. So thanks a lot for sharing this, and I find it very inspirational. So thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. So it is a tool that
Yeah,
people can use throughout their life, and as their
yeah,
life changes, they
yeah.
can use it to change, and change with it and grow with it.
Just to mention also that I will be sharing in the description a couple of links that will help the audience go to your blog, because you have also a blog, you are an author, so it's important that also we can share with the audience those tools that will enable them to use their time even better. Abigail, I'm so curious because I'm sure that a lot of people may ask you, how can we find more time? So can you share with us the details and how this is happening, how this is possible?
I love these questions, Marco, and I love where this conversation is going. So we all have the same 24 hours, but we're not all using our time in the same way. And we don't all have the same circumstances. We don't all have the same bank accounts. We don't all have the same situations. We don't all have the same education, countries that we live in, etc., etc. So all of us are allocating our time in different places. And the 888 formula is your entry point to realize, oh, there's something out of balance. The next tool that we then use with our clients, with our audiences, which we talk about in my book that you've mentioned, there will be a link in the show notes, Time Management for Entrepreneurs and Professionals. It's a 5-step process to help you to find an hour a day or more. Step 1 of the process is to audit your time or track your time for 7 days. This is going to give you data, and this data is going to help you to make new decisions. When it comes to time and time management, and I don't have enough time and I'm so busy, that's an outcome, but nothing can be changed till we understand what the income is. So I don't have enough time, different words, is the output, but there is an input. There is something that we are doing with our time. And when we track our time for 7 days, we start to see what those things are. And they're just little things, like it might be somebody you're helping that you could really teach how to do it for themselves, but they just keep coming back. How do I do this? How do I do this? It might be somebody in the office, like you're the willing donkey in the office who's always fixing everything. And it's great to be known, to be helpful. But if you don't have enough time for your health, for your well-being, for your life, if you're not productive, then you are going to get to your year-end appraisal and get told that, yes, everybody in the office loves you, which is really great, but you have failed to do your job, as happened to me once. Because everything I teach, Marco, is everything that I have learned and lived and gone through in order to be able to understand. People say to me, wow, you really, really get this. It's like you know me. And it's because I've been there. So tracking your time helps you to change your life, your perspective, your reality, what's possible. And you will begin to find 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. You will start to identify that maybe you're scrolling on social media quite a lot. 2 hours a day of scrolling on social media over a year equals 30 days of time. That is a month spent scrolling. Now, if we don't believe that we spend 2 hours a day, first of all, okay, cool. Open your phone, go into the settings and look at the screen analysis, because your phone is tracking you. Look and see. Here is some data. This data will help you to make different decisions. So tracking your time is how we help our clients, our audiences. Workshops that we work within, one of our trainings is a 7-day time audit training. So we will go in, speak to a team about how they can have more time, find out why they don't have enough time, why they're underperforming. And by tracking the data, as I said, will help them to make new decisions.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing, Abigail, those kind of insights that, of course, can be found also in your book. And I found it very inspirational, and I'm sure that people would like to understand better how they are using their time making this audit that you were telling us about. So yeah, thanks a lot for sharing. My next question, Abigail, that I would like to ask you is pretty much focused on work-life balance. We see many companies, many organizations, and multinational organizations speaking about this topic that is more than ever actual, work-life balance, well-being. From your perspective, how can we be more productive?
So work-life balance is a charged subject. Let's just take the heat out of the charge and change the wording. We don't necessarily need to call it work. We don't necessarily need to call it balance. We don't necessarily need to call it life. What we call it is productive well-being. When you learn how to maximize your time, which is your resource, and you protect the asset, which is you, your health, your well-being, you have this marriage of productivity and well-being, which people call work-life balance. But we like to help our clients, audiences understand, as I was saying earlier, the input and the output, what you are doing with your time. So we start with the 888. Oh my goodness, Abigail, I'm out of balance. I want things to be different. We track our time for 7 days. Now we have the data to really, really see. And then we can start to rebuild, to create what we want. And this is work-life balance, but it is your formula. It is your way of designing the life and the lifestyle that you want to be living. And also recognizing, as I said, that things are going to change. You'll get a new job, you'll have a family, you might get a dog, you might get other pets. Your company might be taken over by another company. You might start a project, you might finish a project, end a project, relationships. All of these things are going into the mix. And if we imagine designing our ideal way of managing our time is like cooking the perfect meal. So first of all, perfect doesn't exist, but a meal that I truly, truly enjoy today, what ingredients do I want in there? Do I want vegetables? Do I want meat? Do I want vegan? What menu do I want it to be? Do I want it to be Asian? Do I want it to be Italian? Do I want it to be a salad? Do I want it to be a stew? Do I want a soup? Do I want what do I want? And then when we work this out, we design the time plan that we want. And then here is the next step. We actually try it out. Too many people's lives are not changing, Marco, because they know in theory what they should be doing, what they could be doing. They can tell everybody, but they're not doing it. And your life will not change until you take an action.
Amazing, amazing, Abigail. Thanks a lot for sharing those kind of tips. And now let's go to the heart of the matter, because of course you were mentioning that many people know what they should be doing, but actually they are not in practice applying those kind of insights or the things that in theory they know. So my next question for you is, why are we still procrastinating if we know what we should be doing?
So this one is the craziest of all crazies, but go there with me, because awareness is the key to change. And this conversation we're having is planting seeds. So for some people, the seed is going to make no sense. For somebody else, the seed is going to start to germinate. For somebody else, boom, that's it. They get it. Oh my goodness, I'm ready. And there's no perfect person in all of this. There literally just is. You will do what you're meant to do on the journey wherever you're at. So the answer to this question is then, your relationship with time is the direct reflection of your self-worth. If you don't believe that you are allowed to have more time, can do what you want with your time, that it is your time, that you can allocate it how you want, that you have enough time. If these things are not possible for you, as in your answer is people like me can't have that, can't do that, other people can, then this is why we procrastinate. So first of all, we don't believe we can. And then second of all, very, very simply, procrastination is not knowing what we need to do, not knowing what will happen once we've done it, not having all of the information to be able to do it. So we're stopping ourselves from starting because we're not clear. So we've got these two conflicting things, and one is conscious, one is subconscious. So one, we don't feel worthy of having the good, happy life, having enough time. So when I've done that task, then, then life, that's cool. And then the other is very practical. I might need more information. It might not be something that I can do. I might actually need more time to be able to do this. One of the big things that we find with procrastination is the step before procrastination and overcoming it. We call this percolation or productive procrastination, where you're actually processing in your head and you are allowing your subconscious mind to come up with what you could be doing, should be doing, want to do, are doing in the next step. So if you imagine you have something, let's sort of work this through. You have something that you need to get done, but you're not doing it. So why aren't you doing it? You don't have the data, you don't know the outcome, and also you are struggling with, but who will I become once I've done it? And then maybe it might be that once I've done it, then there'll be other things and people will want more stuff from me. So everything is to do with the stories we're telling ourselves, and then we tie it to a word, procrastination. And the word is the same as balance, just a word.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you, Abigail. It is very interesting the way that you are showing us the pathway actually that we are walking through with you, right? So we started from the beginning, we are reaching the point where we have to break a barrier, right? We have to break a wall in order to understand our inner part. And be able to do what we are thinking and what we know in theory. So it's a process, definitely.
Let me just give one other example, because
Yeah,
this is crazy in all of this,
yeah,
but you'll get it. Like we're building this next level conversation about time. Okay.
yeah,
So fundamentally, this isn't about time management. This is just about time, your perspective of time and what you as an individual, you, me, anybody can achieve with time.
yeah,
So let's say you have the time you want, you have an extra hour a day. So you can work out, you can do what you want to do. You feel peaceful, you feel free, you have that, aspiration. We all want more freedom. We all want to be able to meditate on the beach and find ourselves and do whatever it is that we're dreaming of, that we believe is impossible. And you achieve that, okay?
yeah.
And then you go tell your friends, oh my goodness, guys, you would never guess what I just did. I just sat on the beach, I meditated, and I watched the sea. What are they going to say to you? Marco, that's fantastic. I'm so happy for you. Wow. Thank you for showing me what's possible. Do you think they're going to say that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
And therein lies the problem. We don't allow each other to get to the next step, to prove to everybody what's possible.
Yeah,
We tear it down.
yeah.
And we say, oh, well, I've got so much to do. How dare you? How dare you sit on the beach, have enough time, meditate? Well, it's because you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't do this, you don't do that. You've got this, you've got that. And when you start to see all of this charge around it. It's the same as money. So you get a pay rise and you go to your friends, oh my goodness, guys, I'm so excited. I just got a £10,000, euro, dollar, yen pay rise. I am like, great,
of course.
great. Well, I'm so happy for you. Yeah. Well, maybe you can give me some. And so then we start to see, do you remember I said this is the next level conversation? We start to see
Yeah,
why we stop ourselves.
yeah,
Because it's possible there are people in this world who live this life, but there are people who won't allow
yeah.
somebody else in their circle to be the proof.
Hmm.
But as the tide is rising, as we have conversations like this more and more, all the ships rise.
Yeah,
Because if it's possible for me, it's possible for you. And so this is my mission, my legacy, you said, my
yeah,
journey is to help people to go, I get it. Okay, let's go. Let's go on the journey. And it's not an overnight thing. It's not a magic pill. It's not give me the blueprint and then I'm there. It's I am no longer going to walk this path of I don't have enough, it's not fair, people like me. Things will never change. I am no longer going to walk this path. I'm going to try this new path.
yeah. It's about change.
It's about to change. And here's the funny thing. I had a conversation with somebody the other day who said, yeah, but like if because we were talking about that feeling you have on Christmas Day. So the feeling you have on Christmas Day, the feeling you have on your birthday, the feeling you have on any day that you celebrate, whatever, maybe Christmas Day isn't your day, maybe it's Eid, whatever it is, that feeling is like so exciting. And so I said to them, what if you could have that feeling every day?
Yeah,
And they said, but then it won't be special. And I said, but what if the better it gets, the better it gets?
yeah.
And they said, oh, yeah, I need to think about that one. And I said, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Because they didn't reject it and go, yeah, no. And if we can just allow ourselves to embrace the possibility to change our perspective, then anything is
yeah.
possible.
This is something that we needed to unleash, right? To unlock in order to exercise this wonder that you are speaking about. So yeah, thanks a lot for sharing these amazing experiences, histories, and advice, because I'm sure that the audience will treasure as I am and as I will, Abigail. Thanks a lot. So we made this pathway together. So thanks a lot for walking us through this pathway. And now, my last question for you, Abigail, is of course about you. What goes next for you, Abigail? What is 2024 bringing to you?
So 2024, we are working on our TEDx talk to bring this conversation to the world. We are working on more books,
Yeah,
more trainings, and more in-person events traveling the world. So if people in your audience are saying, oh my goodness, Marco, I want her to come and speak at my event, my conference, then they can get in touch. They can get in touch with me. They can get in touch with you
of
because it's
course.
time. The world needs to hear this. They need the 888. They need this up-leveled perspective on time. We don't have any more time to waste.
Of course. This is the slogan that I think that wrapping up is the best that we can use, right, Abigail? And of course, the aim of the podcast, of the MACE podcast, is to build bridges. And we are building bridges and we are spotting the light on what matters because our time matters.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. Yes. And come across the bridge. Let's
Of,
go.
of course. Thanks a lot, Abigail. It has been a pleasure to have you as a guest at the MACE podcast. I'm looking forward to meeting you again. You are a coach, you are a speaker, so you are traveling the world. You will be traveling the world in 2024. So I look forward to meeting you again. And of course, thanks a lot for your time because I'm sure that the audience will treasure this episode as I will.
Thank you so much for having me. And this conversation today, Marco, I have talked about time in a way I have never talked about it publicly before. So thank you for the opportunity to share next level time transformational training.
Thanks and all the best. Bye.
Thank you.